I continued gardening to fill my time. After a decent bit, I got approached by a yellow cap pond. He stood nearby and started watching me create more fruit. I created and sent the fruit off. Marine Peacock Pond walked over and sassed, "Dang, are you really giving another apprentice your time?" "No, just letting him watch me work. Would you like to practice?" Marine Peacock Pond responded by stepping closer, and I stepped over to allow him to practice. He then summoned another bunch of fruit. I offered, "Would you like me to send this fruit off?" Marine Peacock Pond responded by doing something similar to sending the fruit off, before asking, "Can you remind me how to send the fruit off?" I answered, "You need to place one of your hooves onto the planter and think of one of these two phrases. I send this fruit to nourish the council. Phrase 2 is I send this fruit to help or accomplish anything needed to be done by the residents." There was a pause before Marine Peacock Pond placed one of his front hooves onto the planter and focused. There was a decent pause before the fruit vanished. I asked, "Where did you send the fruit?" Marine Peacock Pond answered, "I sent it over to the council." I responded, "Good. Now try to send it over to the other members of the group." Marine Peacock Pond then summoned more fruit and sent the fruit off after a long pause. He then asked, "Can I practice on my own?" I answered, "Sure." I then wandered off. After a bit of walking around, I returned to check on the progress of Marine Peacock Pond. I arrived to see him sending off another batch of fruit. I looked over to see the planter next to the planter that Marine Peacock Pond was working on, to see Yellow Cap Pond practicing with Jack Canal. After a few times of Yellow Cap Pond summoning and sending fruit, "How am I doing?" Jack Canal answered, "You are doing great." There was a pause while Yellow Cap Pond summoned and sent off another bunch of fruit. Yellow Cap Pond continued by asking, "How close am I to graduating?" Jack Canal paused before answering, "I'll have a meeting with the other gardeners of this garden. Would you like to call it a day?" Yellow Cap Pond responded by sending off a bunch of fruit, before heading off towards Jack Canal's room. Jack Canal started walking around, talking to the other gardeners. I started walking around before, encountering Common Butterfly Canal, standing doing nothing. I walked over and asked, "How are things?" Common Butterfly Canal looked startled, before mumbling something and walking off. I continued walking around, to see that there were now fewer apprentices inside the garden. I then walked over to my apprentice, who had just sent a bunch of fruit off, and asked, "Would you like to call it a day?" He answered, "Sure." He then walked back to our room. I then noticed that the other apprentices along with Striped Koi Canal has been sent back to their rooms. I then walked over to the others that are huddled. When I got over, I heard Grandma Carp Canal mentioned, "My little Neon Tiger Pond is so hyper. I don't know if they will be graduating." Jack Canal replied, "With their speed, we could transfer them over to the Hunter branch." Steel Perch Canal offered, "Maybe I could go with them." Grandma Carp Canal mentioned, "We should ask them first." There was a small pause before Common Butterfly Canal commented, "We're sending Neon Tiger Pond away?" Jack Canal snapped, "Not that loud. We haven't come to a decision." Jack Canal paused before continuing in a calmer tone, "You should go back to your room." Common Butterfly Canal walking back to her room. They waited for the door to Common Butterfly Canal's room to close. Steel Perch Canal commented, "Okay, we need to ask how she managed to get an apprentice." There was a pause before Jack Canal explained, "Yellow Cap Pond is ready to graduate." Steel Perch Canal added, "Flat Lake Pond is ready to graduate." I added, "Agreed. Marine Peacock Pond is ready to graduate." Jack Canal explained, "Okay, we are going to be seeing if we can send Neon Tiger Pond and Steel Perch Canal over to the hunting branch." Grandma Carp Canal interrupted, "After asking." Jack Canal clarified, "Yes, after asking Neon Tiger Pond. We will also test Coda Swordtail Pond to see if they are ready to graduate. Finally, we can go from there." The end.